Hey there gamers! Welcome back to Switch Mania. If you're anything like us, you're always on the lookout for great games to add to your collection. And right now, there's no better place to find amazing deals on some of the best games for the Nintendo Switch than the Nintendo Eshop. That's why I've scoured through all the games currently on sale to bring you the top 19 must-buy games that you simply can't pass up. Whether you're a fan of RPGs, platformers, action games, or anything in between, I've got you covered. So sit back, relax, and let me show you the best games that you can get right now for a fraction of their regular price. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more great Nintendo content. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest deals and news, be sure to hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. So without further ado, let's dive into my list of the top 19 must-buy games on the recent Nintendo Eshop sale. Embracelet is a charming adventure game that tells the story of a young girl named Jesper who discovers a magical bracelet that lets her communicate with spirits. The game's narrative is heartfelt, with themes of family, friendship, and loss woven throughout. The characters are endearing and their interactions feel genuine and relatable. The game's puzzle mechanics are simple but effective, with a focus on using the bracelet's abilities to interact with the environment and solve problems. The art style is minimalist but lovely, with a soft color palette and smooth animations that give the game a cozy, comforting feel. One downside is that the game's pacing can be slow at times, and the puzzles can feel a bit too easy for more experienced gamers. Additionally, the game's dialogue can be a bit stilted, with some awkward phrasing and some clunky translations. Overall, Embracelet is a delightful experience that will appeal to fans of narrative-driven adventure games, particularly those who enjoy a more laid-back, relaxing gameplay experience. Jack Move is a cyberpunk-themed RPG that follows the story of a young hacker named Noah and her sentient AI companion Jack. The game's pixel art style is stunning, with detailed character design and vibrant neon environments that bring the world to life. The combat system is turn-based and uses a unique mechanic called the Jack Move, where Noah can manipulate the battlefield to gain an advantage over her enemies. The system is fun and strategic, adding a layer of depth to the combat that keeps it engaging throughout the game. The game's narrative is well written and compelling, with themes of corruption, morality, and personal growth woven throughout. The characters are complex and interesting, with their own backstories and motivations that make them feel like real people. One downside is that the game's difficulty can be uneven, with some battles feeling too easy while others can be frustratingly difficult. Additionally, the game's pacing can be slow at times, and the dialogue can be a bit heavy-handed with its themes. Overall, Jack Move is a fantastic RPG that combines stunning visuals with engaging combat and a well-crafted narrative. Fans of cyberpunk and turn-based RPGs will find plenty to love in this game. Tunche is a side-scrolling beat-em-up with a beautiful hand-drawn art style inspired by Peruvian folklore. The game's visuals are stunning, with vibrant colors and detailed character designs that make the world feel alive. The combat system is fast-paced and fun, with a variety of combos and special moves that keep the gameplay exciting. Each of the game's characters has their own unique abilities and playstyle, adding a layer of depth to the combat that encourages experimentation and replayability. The game's soundtrack is also fantastic, with a mix of traditional Peruvian instruments and modern beats that create a unique and memorable sound. One downside though is that the game can be quite challenging, with some of the boss battles feeling frustratingly difficult. Additionally, the game's story is a bit thin, with minimal plot development or character arcs. Overall, Tunche is a fantastic beat-em-up that combines stunning visuals, engaging combat, and a unique setting. Fans of the genre will find plenty to enjoy in this game, though those looking for a deep narrative may be disappointed. Chasm is a 2D action-adventure game with a procedurally generated world and classic Metroidvania-style gameplay. The game's pixel art style is gorgeous, with detailed environments and character designs that bring the game's world to life. The game's exploration and combat mechanics are solid, with a variety of weapons and abilities that keep the gameplay fresh and engaging. The procedural generation adds a layer of replayability, as each playthrough will have a different layout of the game's world. The game's soundtrack, on the other hand, is also excellent, with a mix of atmospheric tracks and energetic battle themes that fit the game's aesthetic perfectly. One downside on this game is that the difficulty can be uneven, with some areas feeling too easy while others can be frustratingly challenging. Additionally, the procedural generation can lead to some areas feeling repetitive or uninspired. Overall, Chasm is a solid action-adventure game that combines beautiful pixel art with engaging gameplay and a great soundtrack. For sure, fans of the Metroidvania genre will find plenty to enjoy in this game, though the procedural generation may not be to everyone's liking. Salt and Sanctuary is a 2D action RPG with a dark and gritty aesthetic inspired by games like Dark Souls. The game's hand-drawn art style is stunning, with detailed character designs and environments that create a sense of foreboding and danger. The game's combat is challenging but rewarding, with a variety of weapons and abilities that allow players to customize their playstyle. The game's leveling system is also well crafted, with a skill tree that allows players to tailor their character's abilities to their liking. The game's story is minimal but effective, with a dark and mysterious world that begs to be explored. The game's lore is also deep and intriguing, with plenty of hidden secrets and clues to uncover. One downside is that the game's difficulty can be punishing, with some bosses feeling nearly impossible to beat. Additionally, the game's platforming sections can be frustrating at times, with imprecise controls leading to cheap deaths. Overall, Salt and Sanctuary is a fantastic action RPG that combines beautiful visuals with challenging and rewarding gameplay. Fans of the Soulsborne genre will find plenty to love in this game, though those looking for an easy experience may want to steer clear. Strikers 1945 is a classic shoot-'em-up game that was originally released in arcades in 1995. The game has been faithfully ported to the Nintendo Switch, complete with its classic pixel art style and addictive gameplay. The game's simple mechanics are easy to pick up but difficult to master, with a variety of power-ups and weapons that keep the gameplay engaging. The game's level design is also well crafted, with a variety of enemies and bosses that keep the game feeling fresh. One downside is that the game can be quite short, with only 6 levels to play through. Additionally, the game's difficulty can be punishing, with some levels feeling nearly impossible to beat without taking damage. Overall, Strikers 1945 is a great shoot-'em-up game that will appeal to fans of the genre and those looking for a classic arcade experience. The game's simple mechanics and addictive gameplay make it easy to pick up and play, though its difficulty may be a turn-off for some players. In GUNBIRD, players can take on the role of a fearless pilot and blast their way through a variety of airborne enemies. The game features 6 stages, each with its own set of enemies and bosses to defeat. Players can choose from multiple characters, each with their own unique abilities and weapons. One of the game's strengths is its tight and responsive controls, which make it easy to navigate through the hectic bullet hell style gameplay. The graphics and music also do a great job of immersing players in the game's world, with colorful and detailed sprites and a catchy soundtrack. However, one of the downsides of GUNBIRD is its short length. With only 6 stages, players may find themselves wishing there were more levels to explore. Additionally, some players may find the difficulty level to be a bit too high, especially during the game's later stages. Overall, GUNBIRD is a fun and engaging shoot-'em-up game that will appeal to fans of the genre. While it may be short and challenging, the tight controls, immersive graphics, and catchy soundtrack make it a worthwhile experience. GUNBIRD 2 is a high-octane shoot-'em-up game that puts players in the cockpit of a powerful fighter jet as they battle their way through hordes of enemies. With 7 levels to conquer and multiple playable characters, the game offers plenty of content for players to enjoy. One of the highlights of GUNBIRD 2 is its frantic and challenging gameplay, which keeps players on their toes as they dodge a barrage of bullets and take down towering bosses. The game also features a unique scoring system that rewards players for taking risks and pushing their limits. In terms of visuals and sound, GUNBIRD 2 delivers with colorful and detailed graphics and an upbeat soundtrack that perfectly complements the on-screen action. However, some players may find the game's high difficulty level to be a turn-off, especially during the later levels where the screen is filled with enemies and projectiles. Additionally, the game's replay value may be limited for some players, as there are only 7 levels to play through. Despite its difficulty, GUNBIRD 2 is a thrilling and satisfying shoot-'em-up game that will appeal to fans of the genre. With tight controls, impressive visuals, and energetic soundtrack, it's a game that's definitely worth checking out. Samurai Aces is a classic shoot-'em-up game that brings back the nostalgia of arcade games from the 90s. The game offers 3 different gameplay modes and a variety of planes to choose from, each with their own unique set of weapons and special attacks. The graphics and sound design are excellent, with vibrant colors and catchy music that immerses you in the world of the game. One of the negative aspects of Samurai Aces is its high level of difficulty, which may frustrate some players. The game can be challenging even on the easiest difficulty setting, and the lack of a proper tutorial may make it difficult for new players to get the hang of the game mechanics. Another downside is that the game is quite short, with only 6 stages to complete. Despite these drawbacks, Samurai Aces is a fun and enjoyable game for fans of shoot-'em-up games. Its retro-style graphics and challenging gameplay make it a great choice for players who want to relive the glory days of arcade gaming. Dragon Blaze is an action-packed side-scrolling shooter game that features 6 unique stages, each with its own set of enemies and bosses that you need to defeat to progress through the game. One of the best things about Dragon Blaze is its fast-paced and challenging gameplay that keeps you on the edge of your seat. The game also features 4 playable characters, each with their own unique playstyle and a local 2-player co-op mode. The graphics are colorful and vibrant, and the sound effects and music add to the overall experience. However, one of the downsides of Dragon Blaze is that the game can be quite difficult, especially for beginners. The game is also relatively short with only 6 stages to play through. Overall, if you're a fan of classic arcade style shooters and enjoy a good challenge, Dragon Blaze is definitely worth checking out. The game offers fast-paced gameplay, vibrant graphics, and multiple playable characters, making it a great addition to your Switch library. Super Crush KO is a stylish and vibrant side-scrolling beat-em-up game that features a fun and engaging storyline where you play as Karen, a young girl trying to rescue her cat from an alien invasion. The gameplay in Super Crush KO is fast-paced and fluid, allowing you to string together combos and juggle enemies in the air. The game also features a variety of different enemies with unique attack patterns, forcing you to adapt your playstyle as you progress through the game. One of the standout features of Super Crush KO is its colorful and charming art style, with each level having its own unique look and feel. The game also features a great soundtrack that adds to the overall experience. However, one of the downsides of Super Crush KO is that the game can be quite short, with only a handful of levels to play through. The game also lacks a bit of replayability, with no new game modes or challenges to keep you coming back. Overall, Super Crush KO is a fun and engaging beat-em-up game that offers fast-paced gameplay, a charming art style, and a great soundtrack. While the game may be a bit short, it's still worth checking out if you're a fan of the genre. Black Book is a unique and engaging RPG that is based on Slavic mythology and folklore. It follows the story of a young sorceress named Vasilisa, who is on a mission to save her beloved from the clutches of the devil. The gameplay in Black Book revolves around collecting and using different types of cards that represent spells, items, and companions. The game also features a branching narrative system with multiple choices and paths that can lead to different outcomes and endings. One of the best things about Black Book is its immersive and atmospheric storytelling, which is complemented by beautiful hand-drawn art and animations. The game also features a great soundtrack that adds to the overall experience. However, one of the downsides of Black Book is that the gameplay can feel a bit repetitive at times, with the majority of battles being fought using the same strategies and cards. The game also has a steep learning curve and may be difficult for newcomers to the genre. Overall, Black Book is a unique and engaging RPG that offers an immersive storyline, beautiful art and animations, and a great soundtrack. While the gameplay may not be for everyone, the game is still worth checking out if you're a fan of RPGs and Slavic mythology. A Robot Named Fight is an action-packed procedurally generated roguelike game that features a randomly generated world that changes every time you play, making for a unique and unpredictable experience each time you start a new game. The gameplay in A Robot Named Fight is fast-paced and challenging, with intense boss battles and variety of enemies to fight. The game also features a variety of power-ups and weapons that you can collect and use to upgrade your robot. One of the standout features of A Robot Named Fight is its retro-inspired graphics and sound, which pay homage to classic NES and SNES games. The game also features a great soundtrack that adds to the overall experience. However, one of the downsides of a robot named Fight is that the game can be quite difficult, especially for players who are not familiar with the roguelike genre. The game can also be a bit repetitive at times, with the same enemies and power-ups appearing frequently. Overall, a robot named Fight is a fun and challenging roguelike game that offers a unique and unpredictable experience with its procedurally generated world. While the game may not be for everyone, it's still worth checking out if you're a fan of the genre or enjoy retro-inspired games. Cloud Gardens is a beautiful and relaxing game that is a unique take on the simulation genre, where you are tasked with reviving and nurturing a series of abandoned garden spaces. The gameplay in Cloud Gardens is simple and intuitive, with players placing a variety of different objects and plants in each garden space to help them grow and flourish. The game also features a sandbox mode, where you can create and design your own garden spaces without any constraints. One of the best things about Cloud Gardens is its beautiful and atmospheric art style, which creates a calming and serene experience for the player. The game also features a great soundtrack that adds to the overall experience. However, one of the downsides of Cloud Gardens is that the game can be quite short, with only a handful of garden spaces to play through. The game also lacks a bit of depth and complexity, with the gameplay being relatively straightforward and simple. Overall, Cloud Gardens is a beautiful and relaxing game that offers a unique and calming experience for players. While the game may be a bit short and lacking in complexity, it's still worth checking out if you're a fan of simulation games or enjoy games with a relaxing atmosphere. Dying Light Definitive Edition is a zombie survival horror game that takes place in an open world environment that is infested with zombies. The game features a variety of missions and side quests that you can complete as you explore the world. The gameplay in Dying Light Definitive Edition is a mix of first-person action and survival horror elements, with players using a variety of weapons and parkour moves to fight off zombies and navigate the world. The game also features a day and night cycle, with more dangerous zombies appearing at night. One of the best things about Dying Light Definitive Edition is its immersive and detailed world, which is full of interesting locations to explore and discover. The game also features a great soundtrack and voice acting, which adds to the overall experience. However, one of the downsides of Dying Light Definitive Edition is that the game can be quite difficult, especially in the later stages where the zombies become more powerful and numerous. The game also has a steep learning curve and may be difficult for newcomers to the genre. Overall, Dying Light Definitive Edition is a fun and engaging zombie survival game that offers a detailed and immersive world to explore. While the game may not be for everyone, it's still worth checking out if you're a fan of the genre or enjoy open world games with a dark and gritty atmosphere. Get ready to step into the world of FILMECHANISM, the indie video game that will have you puzzling your way to the top. This clever little gem is all about creating the perfect shot as you manipulate a camera through various obstacles to get the perfect angle. With its charming graphics and intuitive gameplay, FILMECHANISM is sure to keep you entertained for hours on end. But don't be fooled by its cuteness. This game can be tricky at times, and you'll need to use your noggin to solve some of the more challenging puzzles. One of the great things about FILMECHANISM is how it encourages experimentation. There are countless ways to approach each level, and you'll need to think outside the box if you want to come out on top. That being said, there are a few drawbacks to the game. The controls can be a bit finicky at times, which can lead to frustration if you're not careful. Additionally, the game can feel a bit repetitive after a while, as you're essentially doing the same thing over and over again. Overall though, FILMECHANISM is a charming little game that's well worth a look. Looking for an action-packed adventure that'll keep you on the edge of your seat? Look no further than Kinwan Girl Army, the game that puts you in the shoes of a young girl determined to save her town from a sinister force. With its colorful graphics and engaging storyline, Kinwan Girl Army is the perfect game for anyone who loves a good old-fashioned action game. But what sets it apart from other games in the genre is its emphasis on strategy. You'll need to plan out your moves carefully if you want to make it through each level alive. That being said, there are a few drawbacks to the game. The difficulty level can be quite high, which might be frustrating for some players. Additionally, the game can feel a bit repetitive at times as you're essentially doing the same thing over and over again. Overall though, Kinwan Girl Army is a fantastic game that's sure to keep you entertained for hours on end. So why not give it a shot and see if you have what it takes to save the day. Zombie Rollerz Pinball Heroes is a quirky and entertaining pinball game that combines classic pinball mechanics with tower defense elements. In this game, you play as a group of survivors trying to fend off a zombie invasion by using pinball machines to defeat them. One of the strengths of the game is its creative use of pinball mechanics. Players can launch the ball towards zombies, trigger power-ups, and unlock new abilities as they progress. The tower defense elements adds an extra layer of strategy, as players need to plan their moves to prevent zombies from reaching their base. On the downside, the game can be repetitive at times, as players need to replay levels to earn coins and unlock new features. The graphics and sound design are also relatively simple, which may not appeal to players looking for more immersive experience. Overall, Zombie Rollerz Pinball Heroes is a fun and unique game that is well worth checking out for fans of pinball or tower defense games. With its fast-paced gameplay and quirky humor, it offers a refreshing take on both genres. SUPERHOT is a first-person shooter that challenges players to think strategically and act quickly in a world where time only moves when you do. The game has a unique visual style that emphasizes minimalism and simplicity, with a color palette that consists mainly of black, white, and red. One of the game's strengths is its gameplay mechanics. Players can slow down time by standing still, giving them a chance to plan their moves and avoid enemy fire. The game also features a wide range of weapons and environments, which adds variety and replayability. However, some players may find the game's difficulty level to be frustrating, as enemies can kill the player with just one hit. The game also lacks a traditional storyline or campaign mode, which may not appeal to players looking for a more narrative-driven experience. Overall, SUPERHOT is a stylish and innovative first-person shooter that is well worth checking out for fans of the genre. With its unique time-based mechanics and minimalist design, it offers a fresh take on traditional FPS gameplay. Just be prepared for a challenging and sometimes frustrating experience. And that's it for my top 19 must-buy games on the recent Nintendo Switch eShop sale. I hope you found some great games to add to your collection, and let me know in the comments which games you're most excited to pick up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.